Hello everyone, welcome to KP's 21st Century IAS Academy. As you all are aware, UPSC has released its grand vacancy in which you have 1105 vacancy, which is a humongous number of vacancies when you compare it with the last 7 years. So there are some inherent reasons why the vacancies of UPSC has extended, because the IRMS service, Indian Railway Management Services, has been included in this examination of UPSC Civil Services examination, which has increased 150 to 200 plus posts in the current year's recruitment, which has been discontinued in 2019, but it again been revoked back into the UPSC Civil Services preliminary examination. That is why the vacancies has been 1105 vacancies. So it is a tremendous opportunity for all the UPSC aspirants who are going to get into service this year. So as part of this notification, as we all know, the exam is going to be held in May 28th. So hardly you have 3 months of time in which you have to use it in a productive manner. So now on this behalf, we are launching this UPSC preliminary test series examination, which is going to be held in both online as well as offline modes. For writing it in online, you need to download our app, which is Krishna Pradeep 21st Century IAS Academy app, in which you can get access to the question paper and attempt the test on a regular basis, which is going to be held on every Sundays. If you want to write it in offline mode, please visit our campus in Ashok Nagar and attend the test of 2 hours test every Sunday, which is again followed by the test explanation, which is going to be held by a reputed faculties. So these are the key features. Like as I told you, this is going to be held in both online and offline modes, and this is a 120-day, like 100-day plan. The tests, whatever 100 days you are having, use it at max to increase your productivity, to increase your accuracy, to increase your knowledge base as well. So we are having or conducting 21 tests. In total, we have this 21 tests, which is going to be starting from 12th of February, and the complete coverage of preliminary syllabus will be taken care of. Not only your general studies part, we have also incorporated CSAT as well, because the CSAT has also become a tougher ball game altogether, because people who are comfortably clearing this general studies are not in a position to get even the qualifying marks in CSAT. So we have included the CSAT components as well in our test series. And post test, you will be having a classroom discussion or explanation of all the subsequent tests which are going to be held as part of this schedule. All right. So if you go through the details of this test series, as I told you, we have micro divided different subjects into different components. As I told you, the first test is going to be started from 12th of February. The first test will be held. So before going into this, what is the necessity of test series in UPSC preliminary examination? See, with time, this notion has been gone into the market. Like, people have understood the importance of test series. But I need to tell you, the test series has to be utilized in an effective manner. If not, it is going to be detrimental for your preparation. Why? Because most people are of the assumption that if you practice a lot of mock tests, if you go through number of papers, you attain or you maximize your chances of clearing preliminary examination. But that is not the case. You need to understand what is the importance of test series in your preliminary examination. Not only for preliminary, it is even important for your mains examination as well. So this part of test series, exclusively this prelims test series, has become an integral part of your preparation. Whatever subjects that you are going through with respect to preliminary examination, those subject related tests has become an integral component of your preparation. Only if you revise the subject, give some mock tests with respect to that particular subject, then only your preparation is said to be done. If not, there will be some lacunae with respect to your preparation. So in order to address those lacunae, you need to integrate it with the test series. So proper test series has to be attempted. And what are the outcomes of this test series? Not only this test series, outcomes of any test series, you need to identify it. If you ask me to tell what are the outcomes that you gain out of writing any test series, the first thing is, most of the people has this assumption of the test series gives you a judgment. You're judgmental. Whatever results that you're getting, whatever score that you're getting, that is the outcome that you get by writing any mock test. But that judgment, that score or that marks that you're getting is not at all important in the initial stages. When you are writing any sectional test, what are the outcomes that you get out of any test series is, number one, identification. You will identify your strengths and weaknesses, which means whenever you are aware what is your strength area, what are your weaknesses with respect to any particular subject. Let's say if it is a polity test, what are your strengths? Whether you are good at fundamental rights, whether you are good at DPSPs, or whether you are good at union executive or non-constitutional bodies, which is pretty much confusing for you. So what are your strengths? And not only that, you can identify your weaknesses. Whether if you look at the various questions being asked in UPSC examination, typically all questions will be either a static question, or it could be an application oriented question, or it could be a factual question. So in which areas you are lacking and which area is your strength, you need to identify that. So identification is the first important aspect that you need to get or extract out of any test series. With identification, you can diagnose yourself, like you can work out on your weaknesses, you can put little attention on your strengthy areas so that you can flexibly organize your time and get good score with respect to any test series. This is the first aspect, identification. Second thing is, what do you get out of it? Second thing is feedback. Feedback means like not only attempting the test or marking your options and evaluating your score. That does not help you out. You need to have a detailed analysis of whole question paper. All 100 questions has to be analyzed. Why particular statement is right and why not the other statement is incorrect, or why the statement is framed in a wrong sense. In which aspects had it made you confused, and why you marked this option as B rather than putting it as C, despite you having enough knowledge. So what made you attempt or less attempt, or what made you to attempt more number of questions? How is your accuracy limit? So almost if you look at any aspirant, the accuracy of all the subjects, of all the questions will not be same for everyone. It is not a uniform factor. So some students have more accuracy with respect to polity, some have more accuracy with respect to economy. Whereas when it comes to other subjects, like if I attempt more questions on history, there are pretty much inherent chances that I might make wrong because some factual information which I couldn't recall. So this question might go wrong, which can impact my overall score because you have 1/3 negative marking. So you need to evaluate your strengthy areas, which subjects you are doing good. Even if you are going by choosing one among the two options, what is your hit ratio? You need to identify it. You need to have a proper mechanism. You will get it only by solving test series. So that is why this test series is again important. And finally, the third important aspect is whatever the judgment that you're getting or the result. This forms the third aspect. These are the three outcomes of any test series. So we people presumably look for only the third aspect, which is the least more bothered option for me. You need not go or you need not worry about the result and be judgmental about your preparation. That deteriorates even more. Rather than focusing on this third component, focus on the first two components: identification of your strengths and weaknesses, identify your strengthy areas, which topics you're good at, which areas you're weak, and work on it. That is how you will enhance, you will improve your score in prelims test series. All right. So after giving you all these things, evaluate all the 100 questions, all the explanations, go through it. Subsequently, after every test, you will be having an explanation class, which will be preceded by a senior faculty. Listen through that explanation class, go through all the 100 solutions, and whatever things that you might come across which you feel important, make it a separate notes and revise them before the examination. That will help you a lot. So this is how we have scheduled our test series. Like as I told you, the first test is going to be started from 12th of February, which is consisting of Indian polity and constitution. In Indian polity, what are the topics that you need to go through? We have also integrated this current affairs component in it, because last 1 year current affairs has to be dealt through. Not only 1 year, like 1.5 years subsequently, because whatever the themes that are being repeated in the current affairs, it follows a chain. So if you cover at least 12 months, 15 months of current affairs, that will take you to eliminate better in your preliminary examination. For that, we are starting with January 2023, 1 year back current affairs, we are starting with it. And it also becomes very Herculean task for anyone to read the whole current affairs for the last 12 months. So you need to micro devolve it. How do you do it? Like we have integrated January 2022 current affairs in your first test. So whatever sources you have been following, whether the notes that you have made from your newspapers or the PIB or the Press Information Bureau or AIR notes or something like any magazine that you have been following, revise it and come and write a test on it. Polity supplemented with your January current affairs. In the similar lines, the second test is also consisting of the Indian Constitution, the polity, which is held on the next weekend, which is 19th of February. In this, we have incorporated this current affairs of the month of February 2022. So this is how we have devised or scheduled all the components of your preliminary examination, which from now onwards, you have to prepare your own schedule, which is in alignment with this test schedule, so that for 1 week from now, you will be reading only these components, which is going to be examined on this particular day. Work on it, prepare your own notes, revise your notes, read these current affairs from whatever resources you have been following and come and write a test. Identify your strengthy areas, weaker areas, analyze the whole question paper and then think about the judgment or the result. This is how you have to go through. So, as I told you, we have subdivided it as per different subjects. Polity, you have 2 tests, and then comes on February 26th, you have a test on ancient history and medieval history. You'll be revising this and writing a test on ancient and medieval history. Same, the modern Indian part will be dealt through in a separate test altogether. And as you can see here, all the month's current affairs are also incorporated with respect to every test. So once your polity and your history is done, we have given you a sectional test or a revision test with respect to these 2 components. One is your Indian polity and other is your Indian history. So you'll be writing a test on polity and history on this particular week, which is test 5. This week, you'll be revising both your history and polity and write a revision test with respect to these 2 particular subjects. So that repetition or revision will help you retain a lot of information and factual errors can be overcome. Conceptual clarity can be enhanced as well. So this is how we have scheduled our test series. And if you look at the test on March 19th, you have this geography test. After that, we have taken 2 tests with respect to environment and ecology. Because as you all are aware, Indian Forest Service examination is also subsumed under this common UPSC preliminary examination. So, a lot of questions, almost on an average 20 plus questions will be predominantly dominated by the environment and ecology component. For that, we have devised or demarcated the syllabus with respect to environment and ecology into 2 tests, which is to be held on 26th of March and the next one on 2nd April. So, this is how we have completely integrated your current affairs and the static part as well. So, finally, you will be writing a revision test with respect to both geography and environment and ecology. Subsequently, that particular month's current affairs is also integrated. So, as you could see here, the next test consists of Indian economy, which is again categorized under 2 heads. 2 tests will be on Indian economy as well. Finally, the science and technology, which is predominantly dominated by current affairs, and also some basic questions we can identify with respect to basic sciences or basic physics and all, which is being asked with respect to biology as well, which is numerously asked in last couple of years. So, this also needs to be emphasized. Finally, an exclusive revision test on economy and science and technology integrated with the current affairs of January and February is also included in this. Then you have this miscellaneous test. This miscellaneous test is held, which covers your art and culture, which covers your Indian yearbook, your economic survey recently released, like yesterday's budget and economic survey. These also forms an important component. So, these are covered in this particular test. And finally, if you could see at the bottom, we have this grand test. In this grand test, we have integrated the CSAT component, which is very much important. You cannot neglect it altogether, because despite this paper being qualifying, there are tremendous chances to get you flunked in this paper if you are not paying enough attention to it. So we are having this grand test, 3 grand tests, which will be held on 14th of May, 17th of May and 20th of May. And finally, an open test which will be held for everyone, which is 1 week ahead of your D-Day, which is your prelims examination, which is scheduled on 28th. Exactly 1 week ahead of your D-Day, this grand test, open test will be held for everyone. Everyone is open to come to our campus and attempt this test on May 21st and evaluate how you are able to perform in this particular examination. And as I told you, the outcomes of the test series, your scores, your accuracy and everything has to be evaluated, and the result-oriented judgmental approach has to be seen only in these grand tests. Don't see the judgment or result which you are getting in the initial subjective tests. If you look at it, you will get disappointed. So don't compare that. Rather, identify your strengthy areas, your weaker areas, and properly analyze whole question paper. That will help you fetch enough score in your preliminary examination. So utilize this test to utmost benefit. Thank you so much and all the best.